Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Still seeing those breezy conditions out there with that breezy onshore flow. Just saw a peak gust up around 30 knots, so we are currently still in a wind advisory and expecting those breezy conditions to continue through much of the day, but that will help temperatures feel pretty nice out there as we move through our day, and seeing a fairly decent weekend before the heat and humidity returns, as well as some rain chances return as we get into the end of the weekend on Sunday. If we take a look at our current surface analysis, we have high pressure to our north of the weak boundary, pushing just south of the area. That high pressure is bringing that onshore flow into the region, and that's helping keeping those temperatures fairly reasonable as we move through the day today, and slightly below average for this time of year with that wind coming off the water. If we look at the upper level winds from this morning, sounding fairly light winds as we move through the column. Got those winds out of the northeast closer to the surface at 25 knots, and then as we go through the mid-levels, seeing pretty light winds out of the northwest, and then winds more west-northwesterly as we get into the 20 to 25,000 foot levels. And our peak wind of 26 knots is at that 25,000 foot level, and the freezing level today is at 14,900 feet. If we take a look at the current visible satellite, we can see mainly just high clouds streaming through the area, and that will be the case mostly as we move through the day today, with possibly a few lower clouds building, particularly as we get later in the day and into the overnight time frame. So if we take a look at the GFS model here to see what we can expect as we move through the short and longer term, again, that high pressure to our north starts to move eastward, and we'll start to see that breeze turn more southerly as we get into the day on Saturday, but still coming off the water, so keeping temperatures fairly seasonable for the day on Saturday. But we'll see some additional clouds and a very slight chance of an isolated shower or sprinkle, but that will likely be further north of the Wallops area, so things looking mainly dry here at Wallops. And as we go overnight Saturday and into Sunday, we start to see the next rain chance approaching, with this boundary approaching the region and pushing through as we move through the day on Sunday. It looks like a bulk of the activity will move through during the afternoon and more so into the evening as this upper level trough kind of tracks through the area. So moving into the evening and early morning hours of Monday, then we should start to see that wrapping up as we get into the start of the week next week, and we start to see another area of high pressure setting up behind that, mainly over the northeast, and once again that will likely bring an onshore component to the wind as we move into the first half of next week, keeping temperatures fairly seasonable and reasonable as we move through the first half of next week, with conditions looking dry. Not expecting any precip at this time, and that continues as we move through the middle of the week. And our next potential rain chance will be in the form of a weak boundary approaching the area on Thursday. Again, right now the modeling showing this more of a decaying boundary pushing into the area later on Thursday and into Thursday evening, so potentially seeing some storms popping up late Thursday, but a bit far out to really narrow that down, so just a low chance of that at this time until we get some clear picture with the modeling. So if we take a look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, do expect those winds to stay breezy as we move through the day today out of the northeast to east-northeast, and we'll should start to see those peak winds dropping off slightly as we move into the afternoon hours. So we're looking at that red risk of those winds that are above 25 knots in the morning slot here, as we are currently in that wind advisory, dropping down to an orange risk for the afternoon, but likely staying fairly breezy through the day, and that's going to keep those temperatures struggling to make 80 degrees this afternoon, expecting our high around 79 degrees, and overall mostly sunny conditions. Again, mainly just some mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions, but mainly just some high clouds passing through the area. And as we go into the evening, we'll start to see those winds calm down and be coming out more out of the southeast as we move into the morning hours on Saturday. And that's when we'll see a chance for some additional low-level clouds developing. So we did pick up that yellow risk for reduced ceilings of visibilities, possibly seeing a low ceiling develop, as well as a chance of seeing some patchy mist develop as we see those winds start to weaken during the morning hours. But our low expected around 69 degrees, and right now tides are running right around normal. If we look at the extended forecast here, that low end chance of a light sprinkle or shower, about a 10% chance. Again, the better chance north and west of the Wallops area. So otherwise, mostly cloudy, slightly breezy for our day on Saturday with a seasonable high around 83 degrees. Moving into Sunday, we see that return of more of the southerly to southwesterly flow in the lower levels, and that's going to bring in some heat, humidity. So we'll see our high temperature around 90 degrees, possibly seeing heat index values up in the upper 90s, and then we do pick up that chance for some showers and thunderstorms later in the afternoon into the overnight time frame, looking at about a 60% chance of that occurring at this time, and slightly breezy. And then as we go through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just partly cloudy to mostly sunny conditions expected at this time, with seasonable highs in the low to mid 80s and our low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. And then we pick up the next potential chance for some showers in the area during the PM time frame on Thursday, looking at about a 25% chance. Again, a bit further out to narrow that down, but it looks like we'll see a return to some slightly breezy conditions and a return to some warmer and more humid conditions as well. So that's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again Monday at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend.